Once we've displayed our raw data into a graph, either be a column graph or a histogram, maybe a stem and leaf plot or a dot plot, we need to start talking about our information. So one of the most common things we talk about is the measure of centre. There are three measures of centre: the mean, the mode, and the median. Now, let's start with the mean. The mean is probably something that you're used to working with in the past. Often we call the mean the average. How do we work out the average of something? Well, we add up all of our data and we divide by the total number. The mean can be read from our calculator. When we're reading it off the calculator, it looks like this, X with a bar on top. So that means the mean. It is the average. What about the mode? Well, the mode is the value that occurs the most frequently occurring value. So we always look for the data value that has the highest frequency. Sometimes there is more than one, so it can be bimodal, or there could even be three, trimodal. So it is the most frequently occurring. This can't be read from the calculator. This is something that we just have to look at our data for. And the last one here is the median. The median is the middle value of the data. In order to get the middle data value, what you need to do is put all your data in order from smallest to largest. And so if you have an odd amount of data, like this one here, then it is the middle, and that would be the median. In this example here, where you have an even amount of data, you need to take the two that are in the middle and divide by 2. This can also be read from your calculator, and it is the median value on your calculator. Sometimes we call it Q2. The other thing that we talk about when we're talking about our data, other than the measure of centre, is the spread of the data. And one way to talk about the spread is the range. The range is the spread of the data from the smallest value to the largest value. So in order to work out the range, which is one value, we say the biggest value, take away the smallest value. This example is asking us to find the mean, the mode, the median, and the range. Now, although I can do all of this on the calculator, I'm going to do these manually as well, just to show you that they can be done both ways. But we should probably try use our calculator as much as possible. The mean. Let's look at the mean first for this one. So the mean, what do we have to do? We add them all together. 2 plus 4 plus 5 plus 8 plus 8. There are 5 of them. So we divide by 5, and our answer is 5.4. Now, if I was looking at that on my calculator, I'd be in lists and spreadsheets, and I'd be looking for the X bar. That means the mean, and the mean would be equal to 5.4. The mode is something that can't be read from your calculator, so we'd always have to do this manually. We would just look at the data that we've got. So the mode is the one that occurs the most, and we can see here that 8 occurs twice. So 8 would be our mode. Fairly simple. The median. The median, the data has to be put in order from smallest to largest. In this case, they already are. So we have 2, 4, 5, 8, and 8. And what we're looking for here is the middle term. And because there's an odd amount, then we have one middle term. So our median here must be 5. If we were looking on our calculator, we'd be looking for the word median or Q2, and it would say that the median is 5. Okay, the last one here is the range, the spread of the data. So the top 3 were our measures of centre. Here's our range, our spread, and it is the biggest value minus the smallest. 8 take away 2, which is 6. So our values range from 2 to 8, which is a range of 6. So range will always be one value. What about the next one then? So we do the same thing here for the mean. We add them all up and divide by the total number, which in this case again is 8. And when we put that into our calculator, we get an answer of 10. Now again, if I was looking on my calculator for that one, I'd be looking for x bar, and my x bar would be equal to 10 for the mean. What about the mode here? Let's look at the mode, and what do we see here? We see that there are two numbers that repeat themselves twice, that have a frequency of 2. They are 12 and 15. So our data is bimodal because there are two modes. The mean, we have to put our data in order from smallest to largest. This time we had to order them ourselves because they weren't already in order. So I've ordered them smallest to largest, and we've got an even amount. So that means we've got two numbers in the middle, 9 and 12. So what do we have to do? We have to add them together. So 9 plus 12 and divide them by 2. 21 divided by 2 is 10.5. So that would be our median. Okay, and that's what we'd also find on our calculator. And the last thing, of course, is the range, and we're looking for the smallest value there, which we can see is 3, and the biggest, which is 15. 15 take away 3 is 12. So our data ranges from 3 to 15, which gives us a range of 12. Our data is represented in the stem and leaf plot here, and we're pretty much asked to do the same things again, find the mean, median, mode and range. And there's a couple of ways you could do it. You could take the data and put it into your calculator, because we know 2/5 means 25, and that's probably the quickest and best way to do it. But let's work through it manually again so that we know how to think about it both ways. So the first part here, we're looking for the range. What do we know about the range? It is the biggest value minus the smallest. What is our biggest value here? It is 56. And what is our smallest value? It is 25. So 56 minus 25 is equal to 31. Mode, it's the one that occurs the most. Now if you're looking through that stem and leaf plot, you can see that 2 repeats itself quite a bit there. So that's 32, 32, 32. Are there any other values that repeat themselves 3 times? No. So that has the highest frequency, which means that our mode is equal to 32. The mean. This one requires some working out if we haven't already put it into our calculator, and we'd have to add up all of the values and divide by 12. So let's do that. And when we work all of that out, we get 37.5. Again, on our calculator, if we were looking for that, it would be x with the bar on top, and it would be 37.5. All right, the last one here, which is the median. Now, because it's a stem and leaf plot, we don't have to put them in order from smallest to largest because they already are. And we can see here that because we've got 12 lots of data, we're actually going to have 2 values in the middle. So it will be these 2 in the middle, which is 32 and 36. So 32 plus 36 are our middle terms. And of course, in order to be able to get our median, we need to divide that through by 2, and we end up with 34. Now again, on our calculator, that would say median, or sometimes it says Q2, and it would say 34 from our lists and spreadsheets.